What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Lick of the Week. This week's episode is covering something that we all know and love, the major scale. Okay, so to start off, this is going to be a more beginner type lesson, so I'm going to be breaking down what the major scale is, what it contains, hopefully to teach you exactly what a major scale is if you do not know already. So to jump right into things, there is a formula that we can follow to create a major scale anywhere on the neck, as long as you know this formula. So to begin, the formula goes just like this. It's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And those wholes and halves, what they mean are steps, musical steps, which are just intervals between notes, right? So like a whole step would be on a guitar, 2 frets. A half step would be a difference of 1 fret. So a major scale can be created by using the formula whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So I'm going to show you guys a pattern for the major scale on the guitar that you can use anywhere on the neck. You just kind of got to shift it around and move it depending on what strings you're on. But it's going to be running the entire height of the neck using all 6 strings. That way you get the most coverage and you can learn the notes on the frets and the strings and all that juicy, fun musical theory stuff. So to start, what we're going to do is we're going to play a G major scale, which comprises of the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And so this is what the pattern looks like. Let's start on the 3rd fret of our low E string for that G. We're then going to play the 5th fret for our A. Then we're going to play the 7th fret for our B. Then we're going to go up a string to the A string and play the 3rd fret on the A string for our C. Move up to the 5th for our D. Move to the 7th for our E. Shift up a string, up to the D string, and we're going to play the 4th fret on the D string for our F sharp, and then to the 5th for our G. So that is the 1 octave scale. So that is a 1 octave G major scale. Now, to cover the entirety of the strings, what we're going to do is we're going to play that pattern. Now what you're going to do from the 5th fret of the D string is you're going to play the 7th fret of the D string. You're going to move up a string, and you're going to play the 4th fret on the G string. Then you're going to play the 5th fret on the G string. Then you're going to play the 7th. Then you're going to move up to your B string, and you're going to play the 5th on your B string. Then you're going to move up to the 7th. Then you're going to move to the 8th fret. Then you're going to move up a string to your high E string and play the 5th fret. Then you're going to move up to the 7th. And you're going to move up to the 8th. So that entire basically 3 octave G major scale slowly should look something like this. So now that we know the notes of the G major scale, now we're going to move on to the chords of a G major scale. So every note in a scale coincides with a chord, and that is how chord progressions are written. That's why we have keys and all that fun stuff to know what notes to play. So to break it down, our first chord is going to be a G major chord. Our second chord is going to be an A minor chord. Our third chord is going to be a B minor chord. Our 4th chord is going to be a C major chord. Our 5th chord is going to be a D major chord. Our 6th chord is going to be an E minor chord. Then our 7th chord is going to be this fun little F sharp diminished chord. So to recap, your G major scale should look a little something like this. Okay, to tell you guys a little bit of how the major scale is used, it's used a lot in classical music, even some pop music and like indie music kind of uses the major scale, but a lot of people kind of tend to veer away from the major scale now because it's been so overused, it's bland and just plain. There's nothing special about the major scale. It's happy, it's joyful, it's just like a joyful thing, and people are sick of joy, which is kind of weird. So that's it for this week's video. Make sure you practice your scale runs that I showed you. Make sure you practice them with a metronome. And make sure that you get the note names down. If there's one thing that you should know when you're playing guitar is where the notes are anywhere on the guitar. So practice with the metronome, practice the note names, and practice the chords as well. So thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video.